How long have you been wanting to do this, Katie? Something like this?
Oh my God, months.
I see.
One of my most painful problems that I have is that following up on emails and keeping up to date with emails. I mean, I probably have emails that are months old that I still need to respond to.
Oh, wow. Sure. Okay. Do you want to do that now?
Why don't we start like the basics?
Hey, Katie. This is a first of a series, I hope.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Great. So you wanted to, if you could briefly talk about what is the problem you're looking to solve today with OpenClaw or Hermes. We'll use one of those two agents and we'll try to solve a use case.
Should we introduce ourselves first?
Sure. Well, I'm Vishnu, and I'm the creator of Agent 37, which is basically a way for you to host OpenClaw or Hermes agent or Paperclip coming soon. And we make it really easy and integrated. We host it on a virtual private server, and we make it relatively easy for you, including things like integrating with apps like Gmail, Calendar, Notion, Docs, downloading skills or browser sessions, and more. Yeah. But I think in the calls, we're going to see more and more of what you can do. So how about you, Katie?
Okay. Well, Vishnu is also very brilliant and incredible engineer, has built LLMs and done amazing things. So, which will all come out during the series. But I am Katie Dunn. I'm an angel investor, board director, and startup advisor. My superpower is to help founders get really clear on their communication so that they can get partners, customers, and investors. And I've invested in about 30 companies. I invest in underrepresented founders in consumer packaged goods and tech products. And I've helped founders raise more than 40 million for their startups. So yeah. So I am excited to do this because I'm all in on AI. And I feel like personally, I have, while I'm super into ChatGPT, I'm starting to use Claude more. Everything is moving so fast. I'm not able to keep up. And I really want to use agents. I am a solopreneur or solo person, have my own company. I don't have anyone else that helps me. And with the advent of AI, it's really been helpful. Just simple things with ChatGPT have been really great, but I know that there's so much more I can do. And I talked to Vishnu because he came up with this brilliant idea. And we actually met even before this on another idea that he had. But the OpenClaw is super interesting to me because of the open source system, right? Do you want to explain that? Why don't we start like the basics? Why don't you explain a little bit about OpenClaw and the open source versus closed source?
Sure. Yeah. I think so. For those of you who have seen Cloud Code or Codex or any of these things, the revolution, it started with coding agents. I think coding is probably one of the first areas where AI has seen and made a large impact because it's, the models are really improving on verifiable tasks, and coding is one of those tasks in real world that is verifiable, right? Because you can write tests and you can verify. So it's easy to train this using RL, reinforcement learning. And so I think in the last year or so, like the amount of things that you can do with AI in this space has been pretty high. Now, I mean, historically, just all these coding agents have been closed source, and pretty much like if you use Cloud Code, you're largely tied to one model. Codex, you're largely tied to one model. But the revolution of personal agents, which is what OpenClaw and Hermes agent and all these other things are, it's less necessarily for coding, but more for just general activities like helping a person or solopreneurs do their own thing and not necessarily tied to coding. This happened not too long ago. I think 2-3 months ago is when it really took off, and where people started to see, oh, wow, this can actually help do so many different kinds of tasks, be it, things like lead generation or outreach or inbound, managing it, including coding, but it's not really what it is for, and many other things. And I mean, thanks to Peter Steinberg, right, creator of OpenClaw, it's also open source and it remains to be open source. And not just OpenClaw, I think it has led to some other agents which are, in my opinion, even better, more reliable, like Hermes agent, for instance. Yeah, so all of these have come out, and it's also, thankfully, given that it is open source, people are able to go out and sort of use it on their own, use it with any models that they want. And like a lot of personal use cases have been unlocked, I would say, because of this.
Okay, so can you explain open source versus closed source for like the people that don't understand and why it's important?
Yeah, open source basically means the code that is written for the software is out there, ready, visible for anybody to see, download, and modify. Of course, The licenses also matter, but a lot of the softwares are MIT licensed, which means you're also allowed to go ahead, take it, adopt it, change it as you wish, and use it on your own. So that's essentially open source. Really, it means the code that is written is open for anybody to download and reuse as they wish. Caveats with licensing. Closed source means it's not open for people to see. Like, for example, Codex or Cloud Code, you don't know what is really the code behind the harness. You could guess and you can reverse engineer, but it's not open for business for others to kind of come in and take and modify and use it. Yeah.
So open source has more flexibility. It's like sharing it with the world and allowing people to learn from it and being generous with your knowledge.
Correct. Pretty much. It also has another positive impact, which is, of course, when it is closed source, the costs are also tied to the one company that controls it and holds it. But the moment it's open source, which means anybody can take it, host it, essentially it makes it cheaper for the rest of the world in certain ways. Yeah.
So providing access to people that wouldn't otherwise maybe have access, but are brilliant and can make something to change the world, just like the people that have money.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
To put it bluntly.
Yeah.
Okay. So when OpenClaw came out, basically it sounded amazing. I watched all these YouTube videos. People were showing that it was running whole businesses for people, and it was doing all these things overnight where somebody was sleeping, and it was so cool. And I looked into it, but it looks like you need like a separate computer for it. Like people were going out and there was a run on Mac Minis to actually run it because you couldn't run it on your own computer because it required so much energy. So how is Agent 37 solving this problem?
Yeah. I also want to say, I think there was a little bit of curiosity and maybe marketing hype there too. I think that kind of gets adds in whenever a new technology comes. It is very useful though. There's the usability is there, but take it with some of a grain of salt. Now, as far as if you want to do it by yourselves, really what you need a computer. Mac Mini is what people are comfortable with because if you have a Mac and you need another system to run this, so a Mac Mini is like the default option because for security reasons, you probably don't want to run this locally where you have your own personal files and other things. Because if something goes wrong, then it's not sandboxed, to small system where, the damage is done. What I mean is, if your OpenClaw, for example, goes haywire and it starts doing things that, deleting files it shouldn't or exposing certain things on the internet. When people try to or prefer to run it on a separate thing like a Mac Mini, and not just Mac Mini, if you could also get a Raspberry Pi. There's many ways to.
I've never even heard of Raspberry Pi.
Oh, it's like a cheaper version. You can think of it as a cheaper version of Mac Mini running Linux.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you go to Amazon, you guys can find like the latest version. It's probably like it's much lesser, much cheaper than a $600 Mac Mini. So there are options. But of course, you have to do all of this yourself, right? So you need to come in, you need to hook it to a laptop and a monitor locally. You have to keep it up all the time. I remember there was one instance where was it someone from OpenAI that had to run to the house because her OpenClaw was deleting all the emails and she couldn't stop it. There's no off switch on the cloud when she's outside, so she has to kind of run to go to it. So there are risks related. There are trade-offs, I would say, related to hosting yourselves versus hosting. So Agent 37, where this comes in, is we host it on the cloud for you on a virtual private server or VPS. And you have a dashboard where you can turn it on, turn it off, restart. And we also are able to make a lot of other integrations much simpler, which if you run it locally, it's going to be a lot harder. Things like connecting to Gmail, Calendar, or using browser on websites like LinkedIn, Reddit, those kind of things. It's going to be a little bit easier because we have plugins that, manage this on behalf of the users. They're much simpler.
So because it's hosted on the cloud, it's still private, right? It's still your own. Talk to me a little bit about the privacy aspect.
Yeah. So really, we containerize your setup. And so really, it is kind of like owning each of the user who comes in and creates an instance will have their own personal container that they own, and the data is, within that container, and that is something they own. And given that this is on the cloud, even though, like, for example, you may see file browser and terminal, really all of this is happening on the files on your cloud. And it is by design, like separated from whatever is on your local machine, on your desktop or your PC. And we also make sure to keep your OpenClaw updated. So as and when security patches and fixes come in, it's not something you need to worry about because, we make sure that all instances are updated. and pretty much to the latest.
So you're solving not only the problem of having it to buy a separate device, the ability to interact with it outside of being on your computer. It's also private. You're solving the privacy issue too in the cloud. And then you don't have to worry about if you don't have the latest software and security that OpenClaw is providing as well. And this is all also applicable for Hermes and paper too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing that's super interesting is you're doing this all for $4 a month, right? $3.99 a month.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. So all the other I'm paying right now, I think $25 a month per user for ChatGPT. I have $17 a month for Claude, which I think I need to upgrade because that's not enough. And then, I mean, there's all these other things out there, but I could get a pretty good agent to do stuff that actually does stuff for me for $4 a month.
That's correct. Yes.
That's amazing. And then, but if you want more, if I need more usage, I could always top up, right?
You can always top up credits, similar to any other thing, but we're also adding a $9 plan, which is intended to be unlimited tokens. We use open weights models like Quen, and similar class of models to purchase in bulk and sort of give that to the users and pass on the savings. I've been testing this. So these are tier 2 models, as they would say. It's pretty good, I would say. It's not as good as like a Sonnet 4.6, but if you're not doing highly complicated coding tasks, and if you're doing like just regular tasks, like, looking at the email and figuring out what needs to go where and, collecting leads, things like that, it's more than enough. And for certain tasks, you can always, change a model and, use a more complicated model, but for most tasks, you're probably fine. And so it is very cost effective from what I've seen.
Well, definitely from what I've seen too. I know you know your competitors well. And so this also, we could demonstrate, we're going to demonstrate, Vishnu's going to set me up with, or help me set up mine. And we're going to show how easy it is for the non-technical. And I fancy myself a little bit technical, but this whole thing has scared me. So I'm excited to try this out, do this with my own personal expert and give this a go and hopefully help other people, show other people how easy it is to set up this version and get something that really works and really helps you. And I have a bunch of different use cases. So we're going to start with one, right? But I don't even have my account set up. So we're going to start with that, right?
Sure. Yeah. Let's start there. Yeah.
Should we do that? Should we move into that? Do you want to talk about anything else first?
No, I think that's good. Yeah. Let's dive right in. So do you want to go to Agent 37?
A Chrome window?
Yes. Okay. Open your Chrome window and then go to agent37.com.
I should sign up with Google, right? Add promotion code. Apply. All right.
Right. So let's launch a bot. So click on Launch My Agent.
Right here, Launch Agent. Okay. Let's talk for 1 second. The difference between OpenClaw and Hermes.
Well, OpenClaw was one of the first agents, like personal agents that came out. It is also the most versatile in the sense it has connections to the number of channels that it has connection to is a lot. Telegram, WhatsApp, Slack, Discord, like Google Chat. There's so many more that even I haven't looked at all of them. It was the first on the block. It's a big thing. And it probably has a integration with anything that you have in mind for niche use cases. Hermes Agent, on the other hand, was, although the project itself was created a long time ago, it became more relevant and more famous after OpenClaw got live in the last month and a half. And it's seen a historic rise too. I think it's more than 100,000 GitHub stars right now. OpenClaw is around 450,000, but it's catching up. Both of these myself. Hermes Agent feels a little bit more reliable and a bit less buggy than OpenClaw from my own personal experience. In fact, I'm kind of moving my use cases to Hermes. I haven't tested all of them, but as I've been A/B testing, I find it a lot more nicer to work with. Yeah. So it's for a lot of new users who are coming in, if you don't already have an opinion of which one to pick, I just generally recommend go with Hermes to start with.
Okay.
And it's very easy to switch between the two. At least we're making it easy. Yeah. So that's the main difference. It's just Hermes is a little bit better in memory. And it has this thing called dynamic skill learning, which means every time it stumbles into a problem, it creates a skill for that problem. So the next time it runs into the same problem, it takes less effort and less tokens and more quickly resolves it. So there's a little bit of a better learning aspect and memory aspect to Hermes.
Okay. Because we can make more, right? You can make multiple agents. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then I want to do basic, right?
Basic.
Okay. So we're starting easy, simple. Okay.
Now onto your current use case while this is getting created, Katie. So you said there were three things. There was LinkedIn, there was email, there was Instagram, right? So you want something to consolidate. Let's maybe pick just the email for today. And do you already have an email where you are already getting this inbound, and maybe we can just connect that instead of, or yeah, tell me what your current email is, or where you are getting this, or maybe there's more than one.
Yeah. So, okay, just to level set. So I have a lot of inbound DMs and emails that I get and I get requests to work with people, to invest in their companies, or to do like podcasts or speaking engagements. So I'm looking for a way to unify that and get it into both a CRM and also help kind of manage that process because it's a lot. So yeah, so that I have, you mean do I have an email, like a special email box that it goes into, or what are you suggesting?
No, if you have an already existing email where no, if you already have an email, we'll just connect that email, right? So we'll connect that email today, and then we will have a cron job. Essentially, it's like a periodic job that runs, and it analyzes the intent of every email that comes to it. And if it qualifies in, I think, the parameters that you're thinking of, we will have it put into, like, I come from the Google Sheets, Notion. We can start with Google Sheets. We'll have that put in a Google Sheet. That way you can
let's
track
put it in a Google Sheet for now.
Message.
Okay. So basically what we're doing is setting up an email agent to look for certain types of emails, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So one of the first things we'll do is why don't we just connect your Gmail where you are getting all this inbound, and that way your bot can go do things on it. So go to the integrations tab and just you see the Gmail connect button. Yeah, let's do that.
Who's Composio?
So Composio is an external vendor. It's actually I think a Series B startup at this point. They're like the Plaid for this kind of things. They help connect different apps to different apps.
Okay, cool. Okay, so it's okay to click all these.
It should be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Great. So this is connected, and maybe we should also connect to Google Sheets. So search for Google Sheets, just Sheets in the search bar where you see.
Right here?
Yeah, and hit connect. Okay, so there is, I think for some reason, so I had not tested Hermes with Gmail before. Hermes I know works really well with Google Sheets, Google Docs, and other things that I've tested. But the Composio integration with Hermes is not something specifically that I tested. We can do, this might be a good segue to do like A/B test on OpenClaw and Hermes. Let's create an OpenClaw agent as well as we are doing this.
So create a new agent.
So let's click on create agent, and we'll choose OpenClaw this time.
Well, why don't we set this up sort of a general email bot and something that can just help me manage my email?
Mm-hmm.
Can we do that?
We can do that too. Yeah. But what email are you referring to? Is it still the Gmail, the Katie Dunnett?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We can do that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna title this email claw.
Great. So,
okay. And then do I want to connect channels here?
Yeah. You can click on that. Well, let's get to the useful part of it, which is like, let us have it do your email analysis first, and then we will come back to the connecting of the channel, which I think is the easy part.
Okay.
So we can go back to integrations and we'll redo the Gmail connection. Gmail is, yeah. Okay, perfect. So now a similar thing, we will go back to the chat icon that you see at the top left. Yeah. So I guess in a way you're seeing the comparison and the diff between OpenClaw and Hermes. Unintentionally, we didn't
Yeah.
intend to do this, but here we go. So it's a little bit clunkier interface, but it is much more advanced though, because OpenClaw has been on for a while now, and there's a lot of features here. You can see a bunch of things. You can, for example, switch the models, the thinking, but we'll come back to all those later. So in the chat interface, like the text input box, so we'll just say something like, hey, can you read my emails from Gmail? Let's just start small. So this is the OpenClaw. I mean, while this works, has a bit of a personality, unlike Hermes Agent. So it
Okay.
likes to know you a little bit more. It's a little quirky. I mean, it's a derivation of what they put in the system prompt. System prompt meaning like the instructions that go into the LLM. And so, yeah, okay. So what is going on here? Let's make first name, last name, what would you like to call me? Just say connect to Gmail. Okay. So I mean, one way is to connect from the dashboard that you saw earlier, but this also has the ability to just automatically, if it finds out that it's not connected, it'll also be able to give you a connect link. You will see that. Okay. Now it has,
Okay.
now it's able to realize.
I have a lot of emails. Yeah. Okay.
That's not, hopefully none of this is sensitive. We can block this out if.
Yeah. Well, yeah, let's just wait. This is like telling me to do something. You should add a new domain.
Wait, what? Oh, this isn't the emails. You have to set up a new password. Okay, this is very weird. Let us switch the model over to Minimax M2.7. I wonder if it is because the model is weaker. So,
I didn't reset my password yesterday either.
Wait, these are the emails that it is finding. Okay.
These are like, some of these are old.
There's also often when you're working with OpenClaw, this is very characteristic of it. In its current state, it is often a little bit tinkering, mindset is how you kind of have to approach it. It needs a little bit of like patience and friction before you get it to a point where it's working really, really well.
Okay. Yeah. These are the 3 emails. Okay.
Okay, cool. So we didn't ask for the last 3 ones. So that's probably why it just picked a bunch and showed you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's 2 elements to this. Like the smartness of the model does matter. Like if it's a very sharp model like Sonnet 4.6 or something, which are more expensive, but those are relatively better. It works well with little instructions. But for some of the lower tier models, you have to be a little bit more explicit on how to get these things done and how to, like, hey, be exactly this. So it takes a little bit more work on the human's part.
And how do you change the model on this guy?
So you can go, same thing. You can go back to Agent 37 dashboard and you'll see a model drop down there. And you can.
Okay. So you do that on
the model tab here. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's still using Qwen 3.5 Flash, but let's, for example, pick Minimax M2.7, which is, it's about 10 times more expensive, but it is still about 10 times cheaper than Sonnet. M2.7 further down.
Sorry. Hold on. Minimax M2.
I think you have to type the 2.7.
There we go. Okay. So you like this one? This
is a decent model. It's a good medium model. For especially hard tasks, I think I will probably go back to Sonnet 4.6 or GPT 5.4. But know that, so look at the cost breakdown. So here it's about 30 cents per million token. I think your Sonnet is probably in the order of $3 or $1 per million token, something like that. So if you search for Sonnet 4.6.
4.5.
Yeah. So it's about 10 times cheaper than that. And the one that we were using earlier, which was Qwen 3.5 Flash, is about 100 times cheaper.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's something. Yeah. You're looking for.
I'm just looking for OpenAI cost too.
Look for GPT 5.4. That way it'll narrow it down. There you go. $2.50. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a little bit cheaper than Claude.
$10. 10 times.
Yeah.
Cheaper,
okay.
Roughly.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. So now OpenClaw will be on that model. Like it automatically switches into this. It's
automatically switched us into the model that you've chosen there.
Okay.
So next thing we'll do is back to track. So we will just say connect to Google Sheets over here. And what this should do is basically it'll give you, similar to how in the UI you connected to Google Sheets, should just give you a link that you can click to connect to Google Sheets. And once you do that, it should be able to act on your Google Sheet. While this is working, do you want to just go to googlesheets.google.com? And then, okay, let's finish the connection.
Okay,
good. Maybe there was a composer issue at the time. So now let's go to Google Sheets and actually let's create a Google Sheet. So it's sheets.google.com.
Why isn't this letting me log in? Shouldn't I be able to just...
I can give you the link. You should all, I mean, given that you're on a Google account, you should just
Yeah. Well, I don't use Chrome all the time. That's probably why.
It's the sheet.google.com. So let's create a template sheet. Name it something like daily in whatever you feel like.
Okay.
So we'll go back to your chat now. Copy this link of the Google Sheet and give it to that. You don't have to share it, by the way. There's no need to. You can just, copy the link.
Okay. So I can keep it restricted.
Can keep it restricted because
Okay.
it has. So put that link in here and say, I have created the Google Sheet. And now ask it. So let's actually do the thing that we did earlier, which is we will ask it to, okay, let's just start with, what columns would be helpful here? Maybe like the sender, like maybe kind of.
Yeah. Date, time,
and
subject, and summary. Can it summarize the email?
Yeah, it absolutely can. Yeah.
Okay. And then what about like suggest a response?
Yeah, let's do that too. Cool. Yeah, that looks good. Enter.
Should we go look at this now and see if it's doing it?
Yeah, we can do that. But what I was also thinking is now let's actually type out or think out what's the logic on which it is going to act on your email. So do you want to put on Whisper Flow again? And then I can kind of talk through. Okay. So I would like you to go through all emails for today. And any emails where there is interest from user wanting me to invest in them and or asking for help around angel investing or connections, only pick those ones and list them here. List at least 3 of them that qualify here.
Wait. Okay. I want to look at this. Hold on. Look.
Okay, great. Yeah.
This actually might be what I want though.
Okay. Really? You don't want to further filter it? I thought.
Well, maybe I, but maybe I want a daily one and then maybe I want another ability to filter from there. Can it do more than one thing or would that need another agent to do it?
No, it can do. This one agent is enough for all your needs, not just email. It can do everything else too. So
yeah.
You can do everything. Yeah.
Okay. So I like the way this has given me it's giving me the information on what's happening with it. This is super interesting. Okay. It took an email I sent too. So it didn't.
We'll have to make it like filter it a little bit more because, we didn't really give it much instructions. Now is the time that,
Okay. So let's do what I want it to do is, okay, let me think about this. Instead of doing this, let's say only focus on emails that were sent to me. And I want you to determine what's a newsletter, what's a real ask of me that requires my attention and should be prioritized. And what other kinds of things should I say?
In the end, okay, I have a trick where I always say, ask me questions if it's not 100% clear what I'm asking.
I do that too. Okay. Ask me questions if it's not 100% clear. Whoops, wait. Ask me any questions you have on how I want this to look and act. And if it's not 100% clear, I'm also open to suggestions.
Okay. Let's see. So one thing we'll do is whenever I create an OpenClaw or Hermes, like a periodic job, right? So this is something you need to run every day or every 6 hours, something like that. I always make it try the logic that it has once on the chat, see how it is running. And once I'm happy, then I will finally say, okay, this looks good. Convert the logic, whatever we've done, into a scheduled job, periodic job. And then what it does, it takes all this and it puts it into what it calls a cron job. And that way it's running. And you can ask it to run every hour, every 2 hours, whatever cadence you want, every morning, 9 a.m. And so that's going to be ongoing forever. And so you can always just come to the sheet and see, okay, what's in here for, the latest that I've not read or not noticed.
Could it also send me an email to say this stuff?
It can. Yeah, it absolutely can.
Or text me or something like that?
Yeah, we haven't, I think in this call, we didn't do the part of connecting your WhatsApp or Telegram or any of those things.
Yeah.
Maybe in one of the follow-up sessions, I can actually show you that one.
Okay.
And it's pretty simple too. It takes like less than 4 to 5 minutes, but it can text you also. Okay, so it said something. Okay, so great clarifying question. Okay, when you say real ask. Okay, yeah, you kind of will need to teach it how you think what is a priority and what is not.
Okay. should I do this right now, or do you want me
Let's
to?
do this right now. Let's do this right now. So you
Okay.
can use your RESTful flow and just talk
Yeah.
through each of the points on how you think about it. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So in terms of prioritization criteria, yes, a direct question that someone needs answered, a meeting request or time sensitive action, absolutely. An invitation or opportunity that actually is a real thing and needs a decision, yes. And something requiring my expertise or ask for an introduction, something like that. Yes, all of those things are prioritized, or things that should be prioritized. In terms of newsletters, I actually would love it if I get a lot of newsletters. So I do like a quick summary. So yes, flag something if it's specific and worth reading. Include for reference, you don't need to create a response for it. It can just be that part can be blank. For time and attention, yes, I would love for you to flag emails as action required with a suggested deadline. You could create a ranking system. That's fine. But just noting what needs to be responded to. I don't have, it changes every day of who and what are high priority. So I don't have any topics to necessarily give you that are specific. The sheet refresh.
You can ignore that. We will come back to that later.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
do.
Okay. And then the column, yes, additional columns. Yeah. Let's do a priority level. Let's absolutely add category. Yes, let's add a due date and a deadline and a follow-up needed. Yes or no. That's perfect.
And then ask it to dry run just for today and see how it does.
Can you do a dry run on just today's emails into the log? Only today's.
How long have you been wanting to do this, Katie? Something like this?
Oh my God, months.
I see. Is that a large volume of emails that you end up getting? Is that?
Yes, emails. One of my most painful problems that I have is that following up on emails and keeping up to date with emails is it's a big issue for me. Whisper Flow has helped a lot because I can talk through things a lot faster. But it's still, I mean, I probably have emails that are months old that I still need to respond to, and it's embarrassing. It's not terrible of me. Okay, so if I go to this, will I see it working in real time?
Correct. As it makes applications, you should be able to see it. Yeah, it's right now what you're seeing if you go back to your OpenClaw dashboard. So it's basically doing tool calls. So when it is whenever, again, this is like OpenClaw, when it's blinking, it basically means it is either thinking or it's making a tool call, which is it's acting on, like we connected it through Compose.io. And so it is, I think, fetching emails and then trying to categorize it.
Okay. But will it start like typing things in
here? It will
here?
start. You will see it eventually. Yes.
Okay. Which one do you want to stay on? This one?
I'll stay on this one. Yeah. Just I like to, as an engineer, I like to keep track of what are the tool calls that are happening and so on. But, yeah.
Did you need to see, you saw all that though, right? Okay. Let me do a dry run.
20 minutes from today, let me fetch.
So now is it doing, can we go to here and see it? Oh no, it's not doing it.
Not yet. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if we asked it to explicitly add it to the sheet actually, because I think we just said log. So it might have just put it here. How does the output look? I mean, that's more important. And then we can always ask it to
category, sender, date, time, subject. Okay. Yeah, I think actually I could tell it newsletters are always low priority.
Okay. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
Okay.
So
let's tell it make a newsletter always a low priority. For Silly Money, yeah, it's a low priority because it's promotional. Yes, you can use emails from before 10 a.m. today. And can you put this in the Google Sheet? Is there anything else we want to ask it?
No, that's fine. Let's see how it does. Well, I will ask it to create a cron job that goes in and does it. And then as you see it updating it, you will probably have other things. Hey, actually, this is a low priority. Actually, this one doesn't matter. And what you can do is you can always come back to this chat or like open a new chat session and say, update my job or cron job, or like you can call it periodic job that exists for email, and change the logic from A to B. And so you can keep iterating and revising it so that it's more amenable to how you see it.
Amazing. Okay. Is it still?
It's
still doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to go to it for all emails. Okay. It'll take some time because, it kind of has to get one email each and categorize it and then do a bunch of those things. But I can like briefly talk about some other things while it's doing this.
Yeah.
So one tip that might be super helpful is you see at the top, there is a default off as a dropdown in the.
Yes.
So that's the thinking level. I think actually in the screen share, it doesn't even show up, but when you see it's There are tasks which are sometimes harder. Like, I mean, for example, a lot of coding tasks are harder. Some of the logic where it really needs to think is harder. So in those things, what I like to do is I toggle thinking to high. And that way I give it just more brain power, like stop acting dumb and like be, you know, like
Okay.
it uses more thinking. Okay. It says it's done something on the sheet.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Low, medium, high. Okay.
Okay. So it's still using my sent, it's showing my sent email.
We should probably put a line there saying, hey, don't,
Yeah. Okay.
okay. Why don't we,
Need to log my sent emails.
and let's do one more thing here. We will say, convert this to a cron job that runs
Should
every
I tell it that and then tell it this too?
Yeah, let's finish this thought and then
Should I?
and then you can say update the Google Sheet to exclude. So the next thing we'll do is you can just say, hey, this is a good start. Let's convert what we've done here in terms of the logic that we've used to analyze and what we're adding into the Google Sheet, all of this in detail to a cron job, and make sure that the cron job runs every 6 hours or every 2 hours, however, whatever cadence. How often do you want to check this? Or do you end up checking this, Katie? Like, is it once a day?
Probably, I would say probably like first thing in the morning and then maybe at like 2:00.
Sure. Okay. So let's just say run it every 6 hours. You know, it's or run it every
Okay.
4 hours.
Okay. So
You can whisper flow and
yeah, go ahead.
hey, so can you convert this into a cron job? So basically everything that we've done today in terms of creating this and adding this to Google Sheet and the logic that we've used on how to categorize it, etc. And I want you to run it every 6 hours. Actually, no, let's make that run it every 2 hours. Essentially any email today that is unread or we want to take, and it's, if it's not already in the sheet, don't add duplicates, and make a cron job to do this. Ask me questions if my request is not 100% clear. Whisper Flow, I mean, it's such a great product. Like
It's such a great product. I love it.
Barely type these days because even when I'm coding, I'm talking, except when I'm tagging. It's really magical.
Yeah, it really is.
How long ago did you find out about that?
I only started using it like in January.
I see.
And it was on the one of my friends, because there are some ways you can dictate, but it's still not. Whisper Flows just makes it so much easier to do everything. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay,
every 2 hours fetch. So maybe not fetch unread, fetch any unlogged emails.
What does log mean?
Unlogged, like
okay, not in the log.
Yeah.
Okay, unlogged in the last I don't know.
Any
Or today, but then in the last 24 hours, something like that.
Update task to fetch any emails not already logged.
Today. Okay. You might want to say last 24 hours or let's say last
4 hours or something, because it's checking every 2 hours.
Did we say 2 hours? Okay, then let's say last 4 hours just to be redundant. Yeah.
Okay, wait, let's see if there's anything else. Direct ask me. What's dedup mean?
Oh, deduplicate.
Dedupe. Okay, got it. Yeah, okay. Will announce to you when new emails are added. How is it going to announce to me?
It's going to just say it in the session. We haven't connected your WhatsApp. We'll do it next time. It's going to unlock there. Yeah.
Okay. One question, time zone. Yes. Times, please use ET for the time zone.
Is ET same as EST?
Yeah, this is saying Eastern time zone. Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Cron job, email inbox triage every 2 hours. So, okay, fetch unread emails from the last 4 hours. Well, I don't want it to be unread.
Okay.
No.
Why? I mean, actually, if I may ask, if you have already read an email, Katie, like, do you still want it to go do something there?
Because I may not have responded to it yet.
Okay.
Could I say that? Well, could I say
fine.
that?
You can say all emails from the last 4 hours. Deduplicate.
You to fetch all emails regardless if I have read them or not. Okay, check against the Google Sheets, categorize, add new ones. Okay, because it's coming up with, okay. Should I run a test?
Yeah, let's say trigger the cron job now, or let's test the job now.
So that would be over here?
Correct. I mean, you can
wait there.
Correct. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's go there. You can see. So if you scroll down, this UI is really bad, which is one of the things I hate about OpenClaw's current UI. So you can see here, email image turn back. This is the job. what it has created. You can always edit it with the edit button. And when it runs something in the run history below, you're going to see the actual runs and what it has done. If it errors out, which it does sometimes depending on situations, you can always, like, especially when you're debugging and creating a new job, you can see that there. And go to the sessions tab on the left, Katie. Yeah, this one. So here's another thing. The conversation thread you and I were chatting with was the agent : main : main. So that's the main sort of thread we were talking about. And this one that you see, agent : main : cron, is the one that it just triggered for you. So here you will see, because every time it triggers a cron job, it starts with a new memory and new session, just with the instructions, and have it continue that. And you can see also from the hint that it updated was 1 minute ago. So it just started it. So when you click on it, you will see the chat interface for the job. So it's doing something right now. So it says, okay, 44 email found today, now reading the sheet and passing the full email list simultaneously. Okay, so it's doing its thing.
Okay. And so that's where I would go back to that's basically sessions is like your chat history.
Correct. There's a small caveat. We won't go into that. Yeah, roughly that is true. It's just that sessions are overwritten, like meaning even if you created a new session in the main chat window with the plus button or the new button, unfortunately, OpenClaw doesn't show them like twice, like, hey, these are the two histories. It still combines them into the same thing. So it's a little bit clunky, your interface there. Hermes is a little better on that aspect, but yeah, that's where it's roughly equivalent as chat history.
So you're saying it would it kind of keeps one chat going all the time?
Actually, I'll show you. Go to sessions. You will see what I mean. So anytime you speak to it on a new chat, it will get appended to agent : main : main is what I mean. Even if you started a new session, like if you said, hey, start a new thread, or there's a plus button in here. You see the plus button below and near the text area below. Yeah. So that's the equivalent of, like in ChatGPT, how you do a new chat. That's the equivalent of that. Unfortunately, OpenClaw doesn't show them separately. It just appends it to that. Even though it has cleared the context and it's a new thing, in the sessions page, it all appears as the same one.
Okay. But isn't that kind of good for in terms of keeping memory going, or does it get overloaded?
That's the funny thing. It doesn't keep the memory going. When you click new, it is a new session. Okay, it has forgotten everything unless there's a catch. I mean, OpenClaw recently launched something called Dreaming, but even before that, they have long-term memory. They have two layers of memory. One is called long-term memory, and the other is like a daily log memory. Anytime you tell it, this is important, remember it, or this is, add this to your long-term memory, it goes in and adds it to a single file. It's like a memory.md file in its workspace. And that it's going to remember all the time. Anytime you open a new chat session, it's going to load that. Some details that you add about yourselves, like, hey, I'm Katie Dan, I am, an investor, etc. Like those kind of things, it always loads. It is in every session. Intricate details, like what we just did about cron job, the rules that we gave it, etc. Those are unlikely to be automatically saved unless you explicitly ask it to save it in the long-term memory. So the way I use it is I kind of manually control it. Every time I come to a point where I'm like, it should remember this the next time, I say like one word, just add this to your long-term memory. And then it goes in and manages that. It also, by default, has like a date memory. So it loads the last 2 days of memory. So that is the long-term memory, is like the long-term memory. And then there's a short-term memory, which is every day it logs like, 22nd of April's memory is this. 1st of April's memory is this, like short files, which automatically it summarizes based on conversation and adds there. So at any point of time, it loads the last 2 days of memory. So if you're chatting today and yesterday's memory is in context. But it won't remember 3 days ago's context that were in the file. Yeah, so it's very rudimentary. It may feel that way. It's not like exactly speaking to a human, given that memory is still largely an unsolved problem. But yeah, you have these tools that you can use to work around it.
Okay. So that's interesting. All right. So we'll learn more about some of this stuff. You can add, there's all these other things you can add, but well, maybe we leave this for another session, but we do talk about like how we want to hook up, if we want to hook up on Agent 37 or OpenClaw, right?
All right, sounds good. But hopefully the session was already giving value to you. I hope, because
it feels much more accessible. Like it's not as hard and confusing as I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely. And I think this will be useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
convert to table. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely interesting. Okay, so this okay, wait. To go back to the chat. So it's saying it's going to complete in a minute too. I'll let you know when it finishes, but it hasn't.
Oh, we're not connected yet, so you can ignore that part. The thing is, when we have connected your Telegram or WhatsApp or any of those channels,
Oh,
and then
okay.
there's a setting in cron job where you can say notify this channel, something like that.
Yeah.
Then it's going to do that. So I think it just has the habit of saying, I'll let you know when it finishes, but it's
Okay.
just, we're not connected it, so it's not going to do anything. It's, yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay. Well, I am definitely going to play around with this and look at some more things, and I'll come up with some questions for the next time, and we can talk about hooking up other things and creating more agents and all the good things.
Yeah, sounds good, Katie. Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Vishnu. Thank you. I'm excited.
Thank you for being so patient. I appreciate it too.